Welcome back to the Premier League Predictor on the Football Terrace, where we're going to look ahead at all the fixtures coming up this weekend in the English Premier League. Of course, a big one with Manchester United taking on Liverpool. There's a big game for Arsenal tonight against Villa. How are Chelsea going to cope without Lukaku and Timo Werner? All that and much, much more. We want your views. We want your opinions as well. On top of that, there's an opportunity this weekend for you to win £50,000 with our sponsors of today's show, FanTeam. There's also a free mini league of mine that you can enter as well. The link for that is in the description below. A fantasy football league, that is. And the passcode to get into that fantasy league is there as well. And the winner of that will win £100 for free. As a free entry game this weekend as well. There's also a £50,000 weekly monster. We're going to go into that a little bit later. But smash that like button for us this morning. I'm joined as ever on this show by my guy. Gal is in the house with me. How you doing, mate?
I'm killing it, man. I'm doing good, man. How you been?
Mate, I'm well. I'm well. And new internet in the studio today. So hopefully it's much better than last week and it maintains stream and everything else. I hope you're good. But yes, it's really exciting weekend of football, isn't it, mate?
100%. I've just looking at it. You got the derby between Manchester United and Liverpool. That's always interesting. Arsenal starting off the week on Friday, so that's my mind's focused on, and then everything else going around with Chelsea and all the injuries. It's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And the first game I did want to start with you is the Arsenal game. I know we kind of briefly touched on it last night on the Bet Victor Top 6 show, but from your point of view, like, how are you honestly feeling about it? And the question I've got, if you fail to win, and dare I say lose, do you think we could see a mass exodus of support from Arsenal fans towards Mikel Arteta?
I'm already seeing the excuses coming in, Terry, for this season. Not only just this game, but when it comes to this game, I feel like a lot of fans are already on a cutting edge. They're close to or already on the edge where they're saying, you know what, they don't want this manager. And any game that's lost is just going to add more pressure on it. Even the people who are cast down supporters of the manager are saying they could see him being sacked by December. So these are the kind of games where we need to win at home against teams that historically we are better than, but at the moment they have a good enough squad where they can bring it to us at our own house. And last year, what they did, 3-0 at home, and we got beat in the first half. We can't do that again. We need to have some sort of respect back in our name. We can't be losing at home against Aston Villa.
Do you know what I would say is this? For me, mate, when I kind of look, and I've got to remember, your monitor's here, I can see you, but my camera's up there, so I've got to try and I'm not looking at you.
Yeah.
I look at today's game as this. There was this big, massive sort of crescendo of support for Mikel Arteta after the 3 wins. And of course, that was a sort of met with this cherry on top of the icing, on top of the cake when you beat Tottenham.
Yeah.
People got too gassed. And sometimes in life, your disappointment is kind of the flames are fanned by expectations being too high, and the expectations grew too quickly, and there's been this massive bump back down to earth, and it's making people angry. I think some people will turn on Arteta if he loses tonight, more because they're frustrated at themselves for believing, as opposed to being dead set against him. But it's a tough tie. What do you think the score's going to be?
Terry, I hope for the best, so I say 2-1. But if I was a betting man, I would say Arsenal might draw this game because I just don't see us having the confidence. There's no concrete best 11 at the moment. We're chopping it. I feel like Arteta might chop and change everything up. So it could work out and we could nick a win 2-1. But I'm thinking it could go either way, 2-1 or a draw. But I'm more favorable towards a 2-1 win.
Viewers, what do you think? We want your score predictions in. Arsenal, Aston Villa, get them in now. Smash that like button as well. We're going to go to some of the comments here. Hello, Mama Flossie. Hope you're good. George says, never like to see my team lose, but if it happens, I won't go mental because it's one step closer to Mikel Arteta being out. And a lot of Man United fans have that same sort of thought and feeling ahead of this weekend's games as well, or it appears they seem to have that kind of thought and feeling. Also, Hi, Terry. Looking fresh. Thank you. The light, it's actually natural light in the studio. This is pure natural light in the studio today. So I thought
That's
it looked
nice.
quite good. Would stick with it. We've got the mic out. We've got 500 megabyte upload speed. So we shouldn't have any issues with signal today. So we've gone levels there. 3-2 to Arsenal is this prediction here.
Oh, that's a heart attack waiting to happen.
Maybe, can you imagine? That'd be a great game. Godfrey thinks 3-1 to Aston Villa, which is also really, really big as well. Later on in the show, ladies and gentlemen, just to let everybody know what's going on, we will be picking my weekly monster dream team. So my fantasy football team will be getting picked. As you can see there, I've just put it up on the screen. We haven't picked it yet. We're going to be doing it later. You can enter this league as well. You can see it there. The Football Terrace mini league is available. So that's going to be coming out a little bit later on the show. So stay with us. Get yourselves on the link and get yourself signed up as well. You can enter into a prize draw and a weekly game that you can buy into, where you can win £50,000 this weekend as well. But we'll be touching on that a little bit later on in the show. Moving on from this game, of course, there's another big matchup this weekend. It's a simplistic game for Chelsea. They go up against Norwich. How do you see this one going, and who do you believe is going to come in and replace Lukaku?
I think it's going to be Havertz. I think Havertz is going to come in. He might play in that false nine role, and he has the creativity and the goals to make up for Timo and Lukaku missing out for the short time. And he's shown in the past that he can play in that position. Or I think he did it for Chelsea maybe a couple games, and I know that what he's done over there in Germany, where he was playing in that false nine position, and I think he'll be able to score plenty of goals from that position, making late runs into the box, and he's quite creative, so he can get other people into play. But it's not only Havertz that I want to see though, but I also want to see who they play next to Havertz, because that's gonna create the spaces for him to get forward.
Yeah, I do hear you on that. I think it's this isn't one of the games they're going to. I think they've got to be concerned with. They've got fairly simplistic games anyway. The only problem I see for Chelsea isn't who replaces Lukaku. It's who creates the opportunities and chances. That's been the problem in the majority of games recently. It's been creating those chances, getting those opportunities, putting the ball in the back of the net. That seems to be where the majority of the issue lies. So I think that's still going to be the kind of situation. But it's a great opportunity for Chelsea. A lot of predictions are coming in here that Chelsea should be winning, and they should. But where the opportunity lies in this for me, and what's going to be very, very interesting to see, is if they can put that pressure on Liverpool. The game tomorrow, I don't even think who replaces Lukaku should be the biggest focus. For me, it's can they put that pressure on Liverpool? Liverpool don't kick off until 4:30 the next day. Gain those 3 points, and you put all that pressure on Liverpool Football Club to beat Man United. It may psychologically, it may just help Chelsea. And that's the one for me. Get it won early, get it won well, and then sit back for the rest of the weekend and just enjoy yourselves. Just enjoy yourselves. That's what's going to be really, really key in relation to this. It really is. We want your score predictions in for it. We want to know what you think and feel in relation to in relation to this Chelsea game. Get that done for us now. But also do us a favor. As we all know, there's a number of trolls at the minute out there on socials just smashing dislike buttons for no reasons. They've attacked this stream again. 25 dislikes for no real reason. You know, it's the same person doing it, or it's a bot. They've been going for gals and monsters and Jesses and Coppish, LFC day trippers. That's why we all need you guys who are watching to hit the like button for us. It's about supporting these channels. Let's get the 300 odd of you watching now. Let's get it onto the 300 like mark, please. Let's get it done. Let's show these people that we mean business today. Thank you very, very much indeed for your support. We are talking Man United a little bit later. We're going to come to that in the show in a few moments. There was another really interesting game this weekend that I'm very, very, very excited about.
Okay.
And it's West Ham versus Tottenham.
Ooh. Yeah, definitely going to be a tight game in my opinion. Just looking at it. Ooh, that's a good one. West Ham are the better team right now. It's not even West Ham are better than Arsenal and Tottenham at the moment. So of course you're going to say that. They haven't conceded a goal in Europe. So
I know, and they're in a very, very, very good space indeed. And I sort of feel like they're a very well-oiled machine. They remind me of when David Moyes' Everton were very good. A lot of young fans won't remember that because you're talking 10 years ago now. Anyone that's kind of early 20s and whatnot may not kind of remember that, but they used to be very, very good. And he's kind of got his powers back and he's firing on all cylinders and they're doing very, very well. I see that being because I'm thinking about fantasy football in this, and I'm thinking Mikel Antonio. I'm thinking Mikel Antonio to turn up and score a couple of goals against Tottenham.
He loves to turn up against Tottenham. His former team, am I wrong? So it's like he definitely is.
Mikel Antonio.
Did he not play for Tottenham?
Did he? I have no idea. I mean, definitely not as far as I'm aware. But maybe he did as a youth player or something. I don't know. Let me go and have a look. Did he play for him?
I might be mistaken, but I think he did
play for Tooting and Mitcham. Maybe you've seen Tooting. No, he didn't play for them. No.
Oh, okay. I might be mistaken then. But
definitely mistaken. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. How do you see that one going? Who would you predict as the winner?
I think it's going to be a high-scoring draw, personally. I think it's going to be both teams are going to be taking blows at each other, and it's going to end up a 2-2 draw. I think it's going to be a very entertaining game to watch, though.
Yeah, I do as well. I think it's going to be an amazing game. I really do think it's going to be an amazing game to watch and see it unfold. There's a comment here. Antonio is going to bully Dyer and Sanchez. Going to be a violation, is what's saying there. Jamie Vardy, triple captain, and that's a great talking point as well, because the next game I wanted to touch on. I mean, this is another for me. I think this is another one of these games this weekend that's going to kind of go under the radar somewhat, but legitimately. I'm just typing something as I do that. Brentford, Leicester. It's going to be an amazing game of football.
I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like Leicester are back, and they're just. I know Brentford have been playing very well, and they've been taking it to the likes of Chelsea and everybody else. But I think Leicester might be back, and they might be back on form after that Manchester United game. They might just take it to Brentford and be one of the first teams to go to Brentford's house and beat them convincingly.
I think what's going to be interesting is the approach Brentford had, because they did attack Chelsea. I wouldn't say it was like a gun-ho approach from the beginning, per se. It's going to be really intriguing to see what their approach is with Leicester. Maybe they fancy having a proper go at Leicester and they leave themselves more exposed. That's where Jamie Vardy can really turn up and do the business. He'll love it.
Didn't you say this, though? Brentford is kind of like Sheffield United from a couple of years ago. People are just trying to get used to them.
Maybe. I mean, again, that's how it feels. They're kind of new to the Premier League. How much studying of Brentford have the coaches and the tacticians at the sort of established Premier League clubs done compared to their contemporaries and peers that have been in the league for 2 or 3 years that they've played against? So it's going to be intriguing to see how they cope, how they operate Brentford 2 or 3 months into the season. If they survive this year, as they look like doing, how they kind of cope going into next year. So there's lots in it to kind of discuss and look at. But let's look at some of these score predictions here. George thinks it's going to be 2-1 to Brentford. Cedric says Brentford will get a draw by Pinnock and how do I pronounce that guy's name?
Mombe?
I think so. I know who he is. I just can't remember how to say his name. But yes, I don't want to say it wrong. Tony to bag a brace. You heard it here first, is what's being said in this comment. Pedro Neves says Brentford attack us only in the last 15 minutes. The other 75 was all Chelsea, is what Pedro's got to say. Terry, we need a proper City fan on the show. Terry, esteemed company would be ideal job. Yeah, I've reached out to him and he said he's not interested in coming on, so it's not down to me. Everyone's welcome on the terrace. It's not everyone wants to come on and be challenged, or maybe they don't like me. I don't know, but there we go. It could be any one of those things. So who are you predicting to win this game? Leicester, then? You're going with Leicester?
Yeah, I think Leicester are gonna win, and I think it's gonna be another game where there's a couple goals. So I'm giving Brentford a goal, and I think Leicester is gonna win by 2 goals. So 3-1.
3-1. Interesting prediction, viewers. We want your take on that. We'll leave your live comments below. If you're watching live, we'll leave your comments in the comment section. If you're watching the playback of this, I'm one thing with the Leicester game. I am intrigued to see what Daka now does, whether that 4-goal haul in the Europa League kind of spurs him on now, because he's such a talent. And of course, he scored against Manchester United and he looked excellent when he came on. If he can start firing on all cylinders for Leicester, they're in business because they've got Iheanacho, Daka, and Jamie Vardy. If you get all three of those players in form, they have one of the best. I mean, barring Liverpool and Manchester United, I think they have the third best attack in the league.
Really? Come
Yeah.
on. I think you're overplaying it a little bit.
If
They have
all of those,
Jamie.
if all those Chelsea are on form, you could argue, right? But if Jamie Vardy, Daka, and Iheanacho are all on point and on firing form, maybe third's too high, but it's one of the best. It's in the top 5, no doubt.
I think they all play similar positions, and they only play 2 of them at the same time. So it's hard to say you'd fit all 3 of them in the team.
Yeah, I know, but it's not about all 3 playing at the same time. It's about having that firepower. You know, one of the things that football players fear the most is, for instance, coping all day with Vardy and Iheanacho. You're knackered, 70th minute comes, and you throw Daka onto the pitch. Like, legitimately, it's a killer. It's an absolute killer. And I think that them having that is going to be, I think it's going to be huge for them, to be honest.
Yeah, you know what? I just don't think Leicester are going to be able to survive without the squad depth. That's why they brought him in. And this season, they're going to get injuries, and they're more prepared from last season. Are we going to see a better Leicester this year? Maybe not, because the way they started off this season, they've been struggling.
Yeah, it's going to be an intriguing one, no doubt about it whatsoever. Viewers, please make sure that like button has been smashed. You subscribe to the Football Terrace and you turn on the bell notifications as well. Make sure that is all done for us. Now, of course, the big game this weekend is Manchester United versus Liverpool. We heard yesterday evening via Fabrizio Romano's own YouTube channel that, and I'll quote him word for, this is his exact wording, where he said, and I quote, the Man United versus Liverpool game will be key for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's future. What do you read into that?
Ooh, I think that just means they're going to start preparing for a new manager after that game. They might start looking at possibly replacing him. They're not going to sack him this weekend, I don't think, but it's just the beginning of the end for him. This game could be the beginning of the end.
Interesting. I want to know what the viewers think about that comment from Fabrizio Romano. For me, what stands out about it is the fact that all week we've heard that the kind of, I understand journalists sometimes have to report what they're being told, but I don't need a weatherman to tell me when it's pissing down with rain outside. I can put my head out and have a look. I know that. We all knew that Man United were going to publicly back Ole irrespective of the form. What I wanted to hear from the tier 1 journalists is real hard opinion. We've been told this, but they all get told that every time a manager's job is in trouble. So give us your insight. Doesn't mean what they're saying. And I know some are scared of saying, I think he could lose his job in the next 2 or 3 games, and then it doesn't happen and people trolling them. But forget trolls. Your genuine readers and followers that respect you understand you're not going to get everything right. Every opinion won't be right. But what I've been annoyed about with all the tier 1 journalists, not Fabrizio directly, but in general, is this notion of, no, he's safe. There's no sign of him going. You've written that about every single top manager at a big club in the last 5 years. It's the same tweets, the same headlines each time.
No,
And
but
now,
Terry,
hang on a second. And then suddenly he beats Atalanta, and now suddenly it's like, oh, actually now this Liverpool game's pivotal. Like it wasn't pivotal 4 days ago. Why did you? That's what's annoyed me about this. Nothing that Fabrizio said is wrong. If we get embarrassed this weekend by Liverpool, Ole's getting sacked. He's getting sacked 110% in my opinion.
No, but Terry, they've always been giving you signs. They've always been saying there's managers possibly coming. There's these links to these managers. These links to these other managers are their way of saying that he's under pressure. The fact that those links are not strong enough, they can't go out and adamantly say anyone's going to get sacked because there's no actual, you could lose 17-0. There's no actual way that you're going to tell me that they're prepared for a manager to come in tomorrow. The club is not
No,
prepared.
but it's not.
So they're not going to say they're not going to say you're going to sack him.
You don't need a manager straight away. The problem is with Ole is it's falling away. If Man United lose this weekend, I don't think we can win the title anyway. But we are mathematically out of the title. will be 8 points behind Chelsea, 7 points behind Liverpool, because I think Chelsea will beat Norwich, and I do think City will beat Brighton. That means we're going to be 6, 7, and 8 points behind our title rivals, respectively. There is no way at all that we're gaining back those points on all 3 teams to win the league. It isn't one team's ahead of us by 7 points. They might collapse. All 3 are not collapsing. Our league, our season in the Premier League is done if we lose this weekend. Facts. And if Ole gets embarrassed, they can move him on. And look, I get that the journalists don't like to make those kind of predictions, but I think Ole's on a knife edge. These reports are just that they're always there. But it's going to be intriguing to see what happens. It really, really is. I really, really do.
Terry, I personally think as a person looking from the outside, I feel like Ole could lose this game and you guys are still not going to sack him because they see him as the manager before they hire the next manager. And until they have that manager ready, they're not going to sack Ole, even if it gets to a situation where it's untenable. Because at this moment, those players are still fighting for him. And it's not untenable yet.
And Fabrizio did touch on that. If you watch the video, watch the full context of what he said. Like the whole thing about his job being pivotal on this game. I think win, lose, or draw, if the players, I'm not saying down tools, that's just a kind of lazy phrase for it. But if there isn't that fight in this game, I think the board will lose fight. Essentially, what it sounds like Ole's done is said to the board, the players are on my side. So just keep me here because the players are fighting for me. And they showed that against Atalanta. But I feel a big embarrassing defeat is on the cards against Liverpool. And if that happens, I just don't think there's any way back for him because I think the players will turn in relation to that. I think the players will be gone. I think they'll mentally be gone.
Final point. I just think the only way he's getting sacked is if you lose against Liverpool, lose against Atlanta. I think that's your next game after that. Tottenham and then Man City. If you go on a 4-game losing streak, that will be the only way he's going to get out the door. And if that doesn't happen and you pick up points during those games, then he's going to be sticking around longer. These next 4 games are the deciding factor if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer survives until the end of the season.
I do hear you on that. There's a comment here that says, Terry, how would you feel about Ole if you play badly and Ronaldo saves you at the death? My opinion about Ole isn't going to change whether we win 5-0 or lose 5-0 tomorrow. My opinion doesn't change. Not in one game. The way my opinion changes about Ole is if he wins the league or Champions League. He has to now, it's not about a 5-run game, unbeaten streak. It isn't about winning 10 of 11 games, winning 18 out of 20. I don't care about any runs, any goal scoring records, anything like that at all anymore. As in, none of it will change my opinion on Ole. I don't believe he's good enough to win us a major title. And when you're Man United, when you're Arsenal, when you're Liverpool, Chelsea, or City, and you spend the money we spend on transfers, agents, salaries, image rights, and bonuses, if you are not striving to win the major titles, get out, go away, don't want to talk to you. All of our clubs spend colossal amounts of money to be winners. And that's the expectation that I have. So, yeah, my mind won't change about him at all. I won't suddenly go, oh, this is a shock. How will I feel if we were to win it? Happy. I want to don't get me wrong. I want to beat Liverpool this weekend. 110%. I never, ever, ever want to lose to Liverpool Football Club. Never have, never will. In any way, shape, or form. I just can't. I can't want that. Terry, why wasn't Ole sacked after the UEFA League final? I think the Glazers will never sack him. Everyone's got a different like my view is this. It's about qualification. There's 2 things that keep him in the job. Qualification for the Champions League and branding. The reason, if you look at the reports and read into what all the journalists have said about the Glazers being unhappy with Ole, it's all been the same thing. How it looks, how it feels, branding. Rivals bantering us online is something that can get Ole sacked because the Glazers don't like it, how it makes the brand look. They don't care about winning. They care about and that's a whole different conversation. A big part of me that wants Ole sacked is because it will expose how bad the Glazers are again when it comes to the further recruitment. That's just it. Devil's advocate here says, let's be real here. Even if we get smashed by Liverpool, smashed by City, and smashed by Spurs, the players haven't downed tools before, and the board will be behind him go after the damn owners. 100% agree. The owners should always be the key in relation to this. I want your score predictions. You may not have watched their preview show last night. Of course, tonight at 6 p.m., Friday night on the terrace is here. So we're going to delve into that a lot more tonight. We've got Zane and Rack and Sonny. We've got Lies in the studio as well. KJ's here with me right now. So we've got lots of people here in the studio tonight. It's going to be an amazing preview show. We're looking forward to seeing you all when we go live later today. I want your score predictions. We are going to pick my fantasy team very soon as well. We're gonna do that. Me and a gal are going to do that live on the air. But you were going to say something, bro?
Bro, isn't Rashford out?
There's no, the press conference is going to be in about 15 minutes time. We'll get confirmation. Then there's thoughts that he could be out. There's thoughts that Bruno could be out. There's talk about Bruno and Rashford being out. I'm going to wait until later before kind of delving into that because no one really knows yet.
Thoughts?
Sorry?
Thoughts on Rashford, if the possibility of him being out. That's a big
if he's out, if it's out, it's terrible because he's proven it since he's come back. He's our best player from the left-hand side. He's one of the best inside forwards in the world. He's come back, 2 games, 2 goals. You create the chances for him. Him, Bruno, Fred, and Martial, all doubts for this game. Rafael Varane out. So we've got a big injury list there in relationship. But I've got a feeling some of them could come back. Terry, what do you think about what Ollie said about the fans booing? Told us we should do better. Yeah, listen, look, I get him saying that. I don't agree with him. Fans should be booing more. They should be booing louder. It's one of these things. I kind of look at the way you support your football club. There's in the team on the field. It should be how me and my brother are. Me and my brother's relationship is how it should be. Me and my brother will tell each other bluntly when we're wrong, bluntly when we're out of order, bluntly when we need to shut up. But 20 seconds later, we can have our arms around each other and say, let's go and have a beer. And we're laughing and joking again. There is no malice from the fans to them. Equally, Ollie can speak back and say what he thinks. And there should be an element of respect. Ollie won't get that respect because he ain't got enough credit in the bank and he's not liked. I'm not frustrated either way. I don't tend to listen to what Ollie said because it doesn't matter to me. It's inconsequential in many ways. But thank you, Rambo, for that super chat. We're going to predict some more of the games later, but we're going to go and pick my fantasy football team now. Now, you can enter my league. The link and the code to enter are in the description below. There's also a pinned tweet with the link as well. Get yourselves across to that now. I'm going to put it up on the screen so you can all see it. That is it there. We're just going to be to the side of this. Remember, by the way, anyone who super chats in over £5 or more, you can guess my secret word. My secret word is in the golden envelope. It's in my studio at home. It's in there. It's a football phrase. If you get it right, you'll win a football shirt of your choice. Every 2 weeks, we're adding more prizes to the pool. So keep those guesses coming in. We're going to add a computer next time round as well. It's going to be amazing. So keep your guesses coming in. You can just super chat a guess by itself, but you don't have to. If you want to ask a question, but put your guess on at the end, feel free to do that as well. We want to try and give back to our super chatters. So that's not the one I wanted. I wanted that screen. There we go. So let's look at picking my team this weekend. I want your help, viewers, as well in relation to picking this. I want your help in terms of picking this team today. Someone says, do it yourself. Don't let a gal help is what Chris says. It's true. Maybe I shouldn't. But so just a full disclosure on this team. It doesn't include, as you can see here, Arsenal's game tonight or the 12:30 game. It's some 3 o'clock kickoff games only. That's so that enough people that maybe don't watch this video until tomorrow morning have time to pick their team. So we can't go by games before that. Who are you thinking about going in goal? Who do you reckon should go in goal?
I think Man City could keep a clean sheet versus Brighton. So I would go that. If Mendy was available, I would have gone Mendy, but we're not playing that game. So I'm going to go Ederson.
Ederson in goal is a big shout. Big chunk of my budget gone. But I think Ederson's a pretty good shout there from you, if I'm being honest. I think that's quite a lot of people in the comments are saying that as well. Ederson. Alisson as well, though. Do you think Liverpool are going to keep a clean sheet? That's the big question I would ask.
Liverpool are going to concede. Remember, it's a derby game. It's one of those big. It's one of the biggest games. Manchester United is going to be up for it. You're going to score a goal. It's just how many are you going to concede? That's the real question.
Yes, very true. I think Man United will score. That's why I wouldn't pick Alisson for it, because I think that's going to happen there. Let's move on to the defenders now. Do you know what I want to do, actually? I want to start with attackers. I want to start with strikers. Who's scoring this weekend is going to be the big question. Who?
Vardy.
Jamie Vardy.
Yeah, 100%.
Intrigue. Let me go up here. Let me find Leicester. Jamie Vardy in there, in that team there for 9.2 million. He's pretty good, to be fair. Jamie Vardy in there for 9.2.
Salah has to be another one.
Yeah, Salah is gonna score goals this weekend, isn't he? I think. Is he available? Oh, he's not. Why do you know what?
No,
Mohamed Salah counts as a midfielder. He counts as a midfielder on this game. So yeah, he is available and he's there. So Mohamed Salah's in the team.
And just to finish off your spine, you should go for Cancelo as the best defender, in my opinion. Him and Trent. One of them two.
Cancelo. Who's more likely, in your opinion, to get an assist?
Since they're facing Brighton and Trent is facing Manchester United, I would go for Cancelo.
That's an interesting one. I want to go to some of the comments that are coming through here. Chris thinks Antonio. I agree. I am going to put Antonio into my team as well. I think you're absolutely spot on there by suggesting Antonio. I think Antonio will be an excellent pick. And its prices, there you go, 9 point. It shows how well he's doing. 9.7 million there for Antonio into that team as well, which I think is going to be a really, really good shout. I want to see a few more here. Kai Havertz. Yeah, I can't. No, Chelsea players are not available because the game isn't in that space. Son
is there.
Son is there. I don't know if Spurs are going to score. I'm not confident Spurs are going to score. I'm legitimately not confident they're going to do it. Let's look at some of these other games. I'm going to look at some of these other fixtures, right?
What about Rafinha for Leeds?
That was someone that was in my mind today as well, because I was looking at the fixtures I was looking at these 3 o'clock fixtures as an example, and I'm thinking Leeds versus Wolves. Wolves are open, aren't they? Wolves are really open how they play football. I think Rafinha could be a great shout to go into that team, to be honest with you. You've got Souček as well, though. I actually think let's look at both of them. So let's look midfield wise. I'm going to go to midfield here. I'm going to go to West Ham, and I'm going to get Souček there, and then I'm going to take who's the other guy we just said?
Rafinha.
And Rafinha in there as well. I've only got 28 million left though. I've got 3 players to put in now for 28 million quid, so I need to be mindful. So far that's quite stacked, you know. Let's go back to defenders. I want to have a little look here in terms of season points but low value. See, Virgil van Dijk has got 39 points so far this season, and he's 6.5 million quid. That's pretty good, you know. Oh, actually, look, man like Pinnock in there as well.
Trent's injured.
Is Trent injured?
No, Trent's injury caused him to miss out on games. He would have been higher.
No, I get that. But I'm just looking at value for money here and who I don't think is going to concede goals.
You could triple up on City by getting a midfielder or a defender.
I could, but I've got to spread my budget here. So I'm thinking Van Dijk in there because he might get a goal from a corner. Like Van Dijk in there leaves me with £21 million, and I've still got to get. I need 3 more people still. That's why I need to be careful. So I need a couple of cheapens. I need a couple of cheapens.
Look at the price. Go to the price. Just lower it. Anyone down there that you see that's valuable? Maybe look at Wolves attackers, attacking fullbacks, because I
don't think Wolves are going to score, so I'm not going to go for anyone at Wolves.
Okay.
I've got to go for the teams that I think are going to win, right? So, I'm like Brighton have got a lot of decent defenders, but I think Brighton are going to lose. So I don't want to pick Brighton. Do you know who will keep a clean sheet this weekend? In my opinion, I think Everton will keep a clean sheet against Watford, because Watford are trash.
What about Southampton?
Hang on, I'm talking about Watford. Just stick on this one for me. Who do we reckon out of here? But none of their players are cheap, though. None of their players are cheap. We could look at Digne because he might get an assist. I'll throw him in. I need 2 more players now, but I've only got 13 million quid left, so I might need to get rid of somebody that's worth a lot of money here. I might need to get rid of somebody that's worth a lot of money. So I need 1 more defender. I'm going to go for a midfielder now. Who can I get here for about 6 to 7 million who gets a lot of points?
You can budget it by price if you like.
Yeah, it's not that pricey. What I think you have to do when you're doing this is you need to look at who generally gets a lot of points and then
Ismail Sarr.
So you need to pick somebody, but I don't think Watford are going to score, so I'm not going to put Sarr in. Like, we need to keep the consistency here. So Sarr's got a lot of points, but he's a great shout. St. Maximin. 43 points. 7.8. I'd probably prefer a little bit cheaper. What does that leave me with? That leaves me with 5.2 million for my last guy. It's hard, you know. I
You
can't
could
really
do
afford
you could
anyone.
do a 5.2 million defender instead of another attacker, and then end off your team with 2 strikers.
So who am I going to pick? Though it needs to be from a team that I don't think are going to concede. So I mean, looking at these fixtures again, who's not conceding this weekend? Maybe Southampton. Southampton are probably a good little shout. Oh, they concede
But
many
Ben
things.
Nurak.
No, I'm going to go who?
Ben Nurak is the cheapest one out of all of them on Southampton.
How much does he cost? Oh yeah, I can't afford any of those guys. It needs to be somebody that's under. I'm just going to have to go to all defenders that are under 5 mil, and then who got the most. See, look at those Brighton defenders, all them points, right? But they're going to concede a damn goal. But it's hard. I'm gonna have to put one in there. That's what I'm gonna have to go with because I ain't got any more money left. But I think my attackers will see me through. Viewers, what do you think of that team? I want to know your thoughts on that. I want to know your thoughts. Livramento, how much is he worth though?
7 in this game.
Yeah, I haven't got the money for him. I ain't got the money for him. A lot of people not liking the team, but that's my team.
No,
I'm gonna pick my captains now. My captain is gonna be Vardy or Salah.
I think Salah's going to score guaranteed. Vardy too, but maybe just because you're a Manchester United fan, go for Vardy.
I'm going to put Vardy as vice captain, Mo Salah as captain. That's me picked. And now I'm going to enter the tournament. Remember, it's a free entry into my tournament, ladies and gentlemen. The link is in the description below. So I think about 150 of you did it last week. So get yourselves done now. I've entered it. I'm entering now. Boom. I'm in that team. That's me in the tournament. As you can see here, I'll click on the tournament now and put it up on the screen. Let me go to the dashboard of that tournament, as you can see. So there's a few of you in there now. There's a league. A gal's in there as an example. A few of you have signed up. Get yourselves into that league this weekend as well. But what you can also do with FanTeam is enter into, if you go to their homepage, you can also enter into their weekly monster. Now, their weekly monster gives you the chance to win up to £50,000. You can see it just here. You can click on this and play. There's a number of, there's a 2,000, there's a 10,000, and there's a £42,000 prize draw that you can go into, as you can see here on their weekly monster. And you can just enter this and you can go in and you can pick your team. Some of these do have a buy-in price. The highest is around £10. The lowest is literally about £1.60. So the price of a coffee. If you fancy winning a little bit of money and having a little bit of a responsible flutter as well. So go and give that a go. But my entry to my league is free. Go and have a little look at that. All the information is in the description below. Go and get that done. I'm excited about my team, actually.
There you go.
Someone says Duffy can score. He might do. See, that's what I need. Even if like they lose 2-0. Or they're losing 2 or 3-0. Maybe Duffy gets a little last-minute consolation goal of his head, boosts up my points a little bit as well. Do you see Brighton causing City any problems this weekend?
Ah, man, let's be honest. When City goes and faces these smaller clubs, they always take it to them because they don't give them an ounce of the ball. And I just think Brighton, they're going to concede a couple goals and lose hope, and then just the floodgates going to open up. Maybe 3-goal lead for City to win 3-0. It's just a bad day for Brighton, man. I like Brighton, though. Don't get me wrong. I like them.
Yeah, I can't. But honestly, I can't see them doing it. City look really good at the moment. It's going to be one. I'm telling you now, the pressure on Man United and Liverpool come 4:30 is going to be high because I get a little feeling that Chelsea will win. I think City will win. You're going to have one of West Ham or Tottenham win before we play, as an example. So you think about the top 4 race and the Premier League, Spurs might suddenly be 4 points in front of Man United, or West Ham might be 3 points in front of them. You'll have City 6 points, you'll have Chelsea 8 points in front of them. The pressure will be on Liverpool because of their title race, but there's also pressure on Man United because lose and suddenly we're 8 points from top. And if Spurs win, we're going to be 4 points away from the top 4. Like, things are slowly starting. And then we've got to play Tottenham. And then we've got to play City. Legitimately, if it goes bad for us, if it goes bad for Man United, Spurs win the next couple of games, including against us. City win the next couple of games, including one against us. We could be 7 to 10 points away from the top 4 in the next few games. But
that would just
on top.
That could be a blessing in disguise. Look at it this way. If you were to get Ole sacked and you were to get a top manager to come in with the squad that you have, and you're still in and amongst the people that are in the quarterfinal, you get a good draw in the first in one of the rounds in the Champions League. You could end up being in the semifinal of the Champions League, possibly being in the final of the Champions League if you were to have the right manager.
Yeah, if we sacked Ole tomorrow and we brought in the right manager, I'd be confident still this squad can go on and win the league from this point. But you suddenly start falling. Someone here says worrying about Spurs. It ain't even really worrying about Spurs per se. It's worrying about the maths and being able to clamber over that many teams that could be in front of us by then. It's almost impossible to do.
I addressed the Arteta in thing. You guys know I'm Arteta out. I don't know why people keep coming back here saying I'm Arteta in. It's honestly, it's starting to get boring. Guys, let's be honest here. You can, just like Terry is, you can say things that are very critical, and at the same time say things that you see that are good without necessarily backing the manager.
A few people in the comment section saying that Bruno is a doubt for Sunday. Some saying that he is out. Yeah. If Ole says Bruno and Rashford are doubts, that means they're playing. If he says unequivocally they are out of the game, then I'll believe it. Like, managers tend to do this when players are 50-50. It's a real big doubt. If they say doubt, I think it means they play, in my opinion. But we'll see. We'll see what's actually said by Ole. I haven't seen the comments per se. Listen, everyone that's tuned in today, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. Agawa, it's a pleasure as always. Make sure you go and sign up to FanTeam. All the links for that are in the description below. You might even win £50,000 this weekend. You know, you might do the little game that's a couple of pounds to enter and win yourself, I think it's 4 or 5 grand. You might just want to win the £100 free entry game of mine, whichever tickles your fancy. Maybe do it this week without like buying into a game, so you can learn how to do it, how FanTeam works, how their point scoring works. But it literally is the best fantasy league out there, because why do the others that you don't win anything on? At least you can win a little bit of money. It's great. Until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless. We're back at 6:30 for Friday night and at 6 o'clock for Friday night on the terrace. Make sure you're there. Take care.